Pop culture exposed. Everyday epic. Rant Wednesday.
Background information. Unlike some of the people who are posting Twilight rants on YouTube, I have actually read all 4 of the Twilight books. I had not heard of them until they were kind of a craze and then the first movie was coming out and all of that, but then I read all 4 of them. I have basically 4 things that I'm going to go into today. I'm going to analyze them and give you my take on them. Vampires. I actually kind of liked the idea of the vampires in this book, with the whole culture of Volturi, the people in the South who are having their big wars and all of that. I liked the way the vampire anatomy was and all of that kind of deal, how they're just basically people who have been drained of blood and now they still need the blood, and so they eat the blood. And they're super strong, they're super fast, they don't turn into bats. I didn't mind the sparkling. A lot of people are complaining about the whole sparkling thing. I really don't mind the sparkling. I think the sparkling is fine. I thought overall she did a very good job of creating the vampire culture, the vampire lore, making it a little bit different. I liked that. That was one of my favorite things about the book, was how she was able to make a book about vampires that wasn't just like every other vampire book. I appreciated that. Bella. On the other hand, I did not really like her characters. Bella is pitiful. Basically, that is her main problem. Although, I have to say, there is something strangely familiar about, pale, brunette, Arizonian girl who is slightly insecure about herself. Could be just me, though. But in all seriousness, really, I don't like Bella. She holds up pretty well on the page, but thinking about a movie, there's really no way that you could make that character on the screen because she's so utterly obsessed with Edward. Edward's problem is also his obsession. It makes him not so much of a perfect person as a cardboard cutout as of a perfect person who is too perfect to be believably unbelievable.
Whoa, I even confused myself.
Plus, he's like the perfect boyfriend, right? He smells nice, he wants to eat you, he sparkles, he gets suicidal every time he thinks he might have ever so slightly offended you, and he doesn't care if you date other people as long as you're happy. Sounds great to me! Yet another problem of making it into a movie would be that absolutely no guy on the earth could live up to that role. At all. Not even Robert Pattinson, ladies. I'm sorry. Werewolves. I liked the werewolves. I liked the idea of the whole spirit walker thing. Theologically, I don't agree with it and all that and that kind of deal, but I liked the idea. I liked the sci-fi of it. The problem with this series is that there's a lot of good sci-fi in it, and it's hidden behind all this crappy teenage romance stuff.
You got werewolves fighting vampires, you got vampires fighting vampires, you got vampires fighting werewolves and vampires protecting half-breed vampire and human, and, you got a love relationship. It's got all of the elements.
It just didn't do it as well as it could have. I haven't seen the movie, I don't intend to see the movie. The one thing that might make me watch any of the movies is that in the upcoming movie, the character of Jane is going to be played by Dakota Fanning. I have a feeling she's going to be absolutely demonic in that role, and it might just be the one thing that will make me see that movie. I listened to the soundtrack. I've seen previews of the movie. It looks stupid. It looks like they cut out all of the fun stuff that made Edward and Bella have a believable relationship in the first book, that, they're funny. And plus, if you go too dark with the first one, you have nothing to look back on in the second one when they're broken up and all this really dark stuff. And yet again, there's the problem of vampires being too perfect to be real. It's the problem that you would run into if you made a movie of Scott Westerfeld's Pretties. There's just no way that you can make people that look more pretty than people. So basically my stance on Twilight boils down to good book series, should not have been made into a movie, and should not be as big a deal as it is. That's basically all I have to say.
Vampires for the win!